Alrighty, y'all. Hello. Hola. We are looking at some more unexpected things you will only see in Brazil. I think this should be really interesting. We might skip around, so the whole thing will be linked in the description down below, so you can watch that whole thing. Of course, browse our channel. This coming from The Supreme. So we will jump right into it. I just wanted to give a special thanks to each and every one of you for watching. I pretty much just started this, and I've only done a couple videos, and we already surpassed 1,000 subs on the channel, which is your first benchmark when you do a channel. So I'm very blown away by that, very pleasantly surprised. I cannot thank you guys enough. Thank you. I will definitely start posting every day, at least during the week. So starting today, expect a lot more videos. So it should be a lot of fun. Let's go ahead and jump right into this.
15. Anaconda Crossing.
Oh my
While
God.
the Netherlands has built bridges for their rabbits to cross highways, and India waits patiently for holy cows to cross the road, in Brazil, they've got a whole other beast on their hands.
Goodness.
Yep, Brazilians have been sharing their street with giant green anacondas for years. These mega serpents are one
How freaky is that? Now, I realize there's a lot of amazing wildlife in Brazil, and clearly anacondas, that blows my mind, honestly. Seeing that on the street, or the highway in this case, would be extremely freaky. I imagine you wouldn't even want to run over this at speed because, this thing looks heavy as hell. That could actually cause a big disturbance in your car. It might do some damage. I am going to go on a limb and say, is this really a common occurrence, though? I know these creatures are there. But, the difference between them being there in a country and them actually crossing the road like this, I'm going to wager that's probably not too common, right? It is freaky, though, even if it happens once a year.
That's right. This is not just a freak occurrence that happens from time to time. In fact, it's a routine occurrence. Imagine cruising down the road in your
So they claim it is a routine occurrence. Okay, I don't know.
car and seeing one of these bad boys slithering
insane.
right across your path. Yep, if you thought sitting in traffic was one of the worst things that could happen on your daily commute, think again. This gigantic 10-foot snake was trying to jaywalk, or should we say slither, when people began to get out of their cars to halt incoming traffic and alert drivers of the huge reptile.
Look at how big that thing is.
Thanks to the help of these thoughtful onlookers, the bold snake reached his final destination safely. We've heard of a zebra crossing, but never an anaconda crossing. What would you do if you saw this enormous snake coming towards you? Would you get out of your vehicle or just drive as far away as possible?
Yeah, I think I'll go with option B there. I'm definitely not getting out to pet this thing, all right?
Let us know what you think in the comments.
Boy, that is crazy. What an amazing creature, though. Just how big it is. And I imagine that thing is just so strong.
Number 14, the tallest water slide in the world.
No way.
This crazy water slide is as high as a 14-story building.
Oh
That's
my
right,
God,
this Brazilian
look at
ride
that.
is for the most...
Look at the view. Oh my God. Imagine being on a slide towering over the buildings next to you. What? Okay, gotta hand it to you. That is pretty impressive.
Extreme thrill seekers only. The famous Insano water slide sends people flying down a near vertical drop, reaching speeds of up to 65 miles per hour. It's truly one of a kind, and something you wouldn't experience anywhere else. Despite being 134 feet tall, the ride is over and done with in just 5 seconds.
Isn't that crazy?
Imagine lining up for this water slide all afternoon just for it to last a mere seconds.
Hey, that's how a lot of park rides are. You wait and wait and wait, and then the ride's really quick. But to be fair, for this one, that looks like it would be hella fun, right? Come on.
Must be really worth it. The notorious water slide,
especially on a hot day, splashing down to that water, getting that nice adrenaline rush down.
was built in 1989 and holds the official Guinness World Record for the highest water slide on Earth. So where can you find this free-falling tower of terror? That would be the famous beach park, located in IWrocker, Brazil. Amazing, right?
Wow.
Would any of you guys ever ride this terrifying?
Hell yeah, I think I'd try it out. Then again, you can never justify things on video. Things do look a little bigger and more grand in person, 9 times out of 10. So just beautiful view. This area, by the way, is gorgeous. Look at the coastline there. Look at the buildings and all the palm trees and stuff. This looks like a beautiful area. You'll have to tell me if you've, ridden this. How was it? I imagine it was tons of fun. Maybe it'd be too scary. I don't know.
Police riding buffaloes.
What?
For over 25 years now, this unusual mode of transport has been the preferred choice for a police force serving near the Amazon River Delta. The rough terrain in the region has always been a problem, but the
Well, I mean, it's all about location, right? This probably makes sense in that area. I can safely say I have never seen a police ride in Buffalo. I mean, I've seen, of course, the obvious police in a police car, right? That's the obvious. That's common. Of course, I've seen in downtown Chicago, Illinois area, you will sometimes see police riding horseback, right? So that's one thing I've seen. And I've seen police on bicycles. That's really about it, I think. So, police riding buffaloes.
Cops here
That's
don't
new.
rely on quad bikes or jeeps. Instead, they've adopted the Asian water buffalo in order to get from A to B. But why buffaloes? Well, the answer is quite simple. They move faster through water and swamps than any other form of transport. And on the Amazon River island of Marajo, northern Brazil, it isn't just the police that make use of the area's huge buffalo population.
Damn, those things kind of get up and go.
You can also try a delicious scoop of buffalo ice cream, a slice of buffalo cheese, or even a juicy buffalo steak.
Ooh, you know what? Not gonna lie, that looks pretty damn good.
Yep, Marajo pretty much worships the buffalo, and there are reports of up to 1 million of the furry-horned creatures living on the island. The local legend states that a freight ship carrying the exotic Asian water buffalo crashed on the coast here in 1890, and the ones that made it out of the shipwreck and onto the dry land multiplied, making this island the official second home for the water buffalo.
Wow.
We've got to admit, this is one of the seriously cool methods of transport, and a vehicle with fearsome horns is infinitely more impressive than a regular car.
Yeah, I admit it. They're a lot faster than you might think.
Cool methods of
They're kind of like a good height. They're not too high up where if you do happen to, fall or have a fear of heights or something, like they're not too big. They look just big enough to ride comfortably, and yeah, they got the horns up front and stuff. It's kind of like, yeah, I'm in a tough truck right now, but it's a buffalo. It's kind of cool.
Infinitely more impressive than a regular car.
Yeah.
But what do you guys think? Number 11. Meeting of waters, where the Rio Negro and Rio Solimões rivers meet up to form the lower Amazon River. An amazing natural phenomenon has occurred. It goes by the name the Meeting of Waters, and it really is something special. A unique blend of different speeds, temperatures, and densities creates a spectacular visual display that lasts for 6 kilometers.
Look at the way it waves like that.
The awesome sight is so significant that it can be viewed from space, while the Rio Negro River is a dark black color due to the plant material it picks up through the jungles of Colombia. The Rio Solimões is a paler brown.
Look at that. Oh my God, that's so crazy.
Color due to the sediment it collects as it flows from the Andes Mountains.
Oh, cool.
And color is not the only difference. The Negro River is faster flowing, while the Solimões flows at a slower pace. Not only that, but there is a big temperature difference between the two as well.
Really?
All these irreconcilable differences mean that when the two rivers finally clash in Brazil, their waters simply cannot merge together. It's a huge attraction for tourists who travel from all over the globe to witness this incredible force of nature.
That is actually incredible. I mean, seeing it, it's like they're clashing like this, and they're not mixing, right? I mean, that is so wild. I'm sure, like he's saying, I'm sure there's some deep science to this. It's just so crazy to see, though, right? You don't really picture that. Wow, that is just so cool. I've never heard of that before.
Brazil is such a unique and fascinating country. We'd love to take a boat trip to the Meeting of Waters, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Number 10. Feijoada, the national dish of Brazil. This is one plate of food that really represents the country perfectly. It's hearty, strong in flavor, and not for the weak. This adaptable bean stew is served everywhere in Brazil, from fine dining restaurants to street vendors, and Brazilians can't get enough of this meaty dish. Yup, feijoada.
Not gonna lie, that looks hella good. One thing I will say, and maybe I've been looking in the wrong places, I don't know, here in the U.S., it's also hard to define. As you know, Brazil is a really big country. Well, the United States is a really big country as well. And so it's very different and diverse depending on which region you're in, even down to different cities and states, of course. And at least where I've been, I have lived in the state of New Mexico, really down by a tri-border between New Mexico, Texas, and of course the country of Mexico. I've lived right there, and then of course I grew up and am in Illinois near the Chicago area, which is humongous. So I've had different foods. Just the food difference between there and in New Mexico, for example, is way different. Basically, I've had a lot of different food that's, Mexican food, New Mexican food, Tex-Mex food, and of course, native Mexican dishes, from my in-laws, right? Which are from Mexico and Guatemala. I've even had some Guatemalan food as well. I really appreciate all that food. It's some of my favorite. It's really, really good. And then, of course, say Chicago. You can find a bunch of different foods, Italian food, Polish food, lots of different American food, and, Mexican food, stuff like that. I really have not seen a huge amount of Brazilian food at all. Maybe I've had some little Brazilian foods here and there without knowing it. But honestly, I think that's kind of lacking, at least in my experience. There might be some hot spots in the U.S. that have a lot of Brazilian food. I'm not sure. But this looks really good. And everything, the little bits I've seen of food in Brazil look really just tasty. And it's something that seems to be lacking in the U.S., at least from what I've seen. So I would love to see some cool Brazilian, food make its way here.
The word feijão means bean in Portuguese, and the core ingredient of this unique dish is, of course, the black bean, which is then stewed over low heat with salted pork, beef, and smoked sausage.
Ooh, damn.
You really want to sample a bowl of this soul food. And if you don't have your plane ticket to Brazil booked yet, then hopefully you will run into one or two expat Brazilians selling this delicious delicacy at international food markets around the world.
That's what I'm saying. I want to run into this somewhere, and I don't think I have.
The world's largest cashew tree.
Whoa.
Can you imagine one giant tree that feels like an entire forest? It might sound unbelievable,
Look at that.
but it's totally real. Yep, the O Maior Cajueiro do Mundo is the world's largest cashew tree, and it produces one of the world's most delicious nuts. We love cashew nuts, so we would definitely want to check out this enormous and abundant tree if we were ever to visit Brazil.
That is incredible.
A huge sprawling canopy envelopes the walkways surrounding this miraculous plant, and it has multiple trunks that spread across 2 whole acres. You can find this beloved cashew tree nearby the beautiful Parangi Beach on Brazil's coast, and it's now a popular tourist attraction after entering the Guinness World Records in 1994.
That thing is literally incredible, that whole system of trunks and branches.
Have you ever seen a
Jeez, that is wild. That is actually just like mind-bending to think of how that all grows, right? From one origin,
tree? But what about a flower that comes back from the dead after a devastating wildfire? Yep, we've heard a lot about raging forest fires in Brazil over the last couple of years, but did you know that there's a unique flower in Brazil that actually springs into life straight after a fire has passed?
How?
Yeah, just one day later, this hardy little plant experiences a super bloom, and it's stunning.
What the heck?
Bolboxlis paradoxa is a Brazilian plant that has adapted to wildlife in the most astonishing way. While trees in the area are razed and destroyed, the fighter flower survives and thrives. They can be found in the awesomely biodiverse savanna lands in the Cerrado in Brazil and are just one of the tens of thousands of amazing and unique species that live in the South American biome.
That's crazy. Yeah, I've never seen one like that.
We've said it before, and we'll say it again. There's nowhere quite like Brazil.
That's what I'm learning. We are like super in our infancy on this channel. I've never gotten to learn a huge amount about Brazil other than, just very obvious facts that you would expect to maybe hear anywhere in the world. So, yeah, I'm really seeking this out. I think everything I've heard is really grand, like really interesting. Obviously, it's such a big place, way bigger than I thought. Big population as well as humongous land area. And within that land area, it's got to be one of the most, actually it is like one of the most unique countries on earth. I think there's just amazing amounts to appreciate and discover about the place.
What does the average beach scene in Brazil look like? Well, there's plenty of tanning and sunbathing to be seen, just like anywhere else in the world. However, there's something quite different about the beach bum lifestyle here that makes Brazil so special. Being athletic in Brazil is just a normal way of life. So whether it's dancing, football, futsal, MMA, or volleyball, practically every Brazilian person possesses at least some basic skills in one of those sports. If you love soccer or football, then you will already know what an incredible...
By the way, it's just a sport I have not played, I have not really watched anything. I'm actually getting into that very recently, like just learning about the rules of soccer or football. I know most places it's called football or football. So I'm assuming maybe it's called one of those in Brazil. Maybe it's called soccer. I doubt it. I think soccer is pretty much only in the U.S. that we call it that. But anyway, I'll just say football. I'm learning a lot about it. Very interesting, and I'll definitely dive into it here as well. From what I understand, that's definitely got to be one of the biggest sports in Brazil. But yeah, volleyball, just kind of outdoor athletics in general, right? Martial arts, did he say, as well? I mean, I've heard of Brazilian jiu-jitsu before. I mean, that sounds awesome, for sure.
Reputation Brazil has on the world playing field.
But yeah, if you're outside, beautiful weather, if you're living on the coast and stuff, hell yeah, I'd want to be in shape and outside all the time, man. Nothing better.
They're the only country to have ever won 5 World Cup titles.
Wow.
Yep, when the World Cup comes around every 4 years, most Brazilians are even allowed to work part-time or not at all in order to catch the Brazil games.
You know what? That is freaking awesome. That is freaking awesome. I love it. So football is a big deal there. I mean, and Brazil is hella good at it too. Damn, 5 World Cups? Oh my God,
okay,
dude.
We'll admit it. We are kind of jealous. It's not only ball games like soccer and volleyball that the Brazilians excel in. No, martial arts such as capoeira and jiu-jitsu are a way of life in Brazil, and keeping fit and healthy in general is super important in this South American country.
I love it.
We can't think of another country that is more fitness obsessed. What about you guys?
Hey, that's a good thing to like. It's a nice thing to want to be fit. That's a good obsession. Yeah, what a cool thing to take away from that. Having such passion for a sport that you're actually really good at, and that the country even celebrates as a whole so much, comes together as a community, I'm sure, right? And you even get to take some time off work to be part of that and celebrate that. Dude, I'm all up. I'm all for it. I love it.
Number 4. Floating island, Iguazu
Whoa.
Falls. On the border of the Argentine province of Misiones and the Brazilian state of Paraná, there is a natural wonder that rivals all others in the world. From the Guarani or Tupi words, "y" meaning water and "Iguaçu" meaning big. Iguazu literally translates to big water. And it doesn't come much bigger than this. Yup, this legendary Iguazu
Jeez, I don't even know where to look. There's so many waterfalls happening at once.
Falls may be one of the most beautiful waterfalls on the entire planet.
That's incredible.
But it's also the largest waterfall system in the entire world.
I believe it. I've never seen one that's just everywhere like that. Wow.
Completely dwarfs Niagara Falls.
Hella cool.
As Iguazu.
Yeah, Niagara Falls I thought was cool. I've never actually seen that in person. I've seen a million photos and videos of it, but I mean, that's impressive, but geez, nothing like
measures in
what
at
we
a
just
whopping
saw
269 feet compared
right
to
here.
Niagara's height of 165 feet. We didn't think it was even possible to outshine Niagara Falls. With its 275 distinct falls and large floating islands, that exquisite South American waterfall system is like nowhere else on Earth.
That's incredible.
We think that it looks like a location straight out of a thrilling adventure movie.
Yeah, they've definitely had to have filmed some sort of movie scenes here somewhere. Like some movie, right? If no one has featured such a beautiful place like this, then damn, they're missing out, right? I mean, that is gorgeous.
We really want to go and check this phenomenal waterfall out. What do you guys think of the Iguazu Falls?
I think they're incredible, and waterfalls, of course, are all beautiful and unique, but dude, I have never seen one like this. It's like a collection of them. They're just everywhere, and they're huge. Yeah, really, really cool. This has got to be right at the top, if not the top. All right, so we are going to actually cut it there. There are a few of these that we didn't even feature here. So if you want to watch that whole video uninterrupted, of course, use that link down there and browse their channel. That was interesting, right? I mean, it always is. With Brazil, I mean, that's what I'm learning. It's so fascinating. Just all over the place with different biomes and natural features, and of course really cool lifestyle and culture things that we're just brushing the surface on, by the way. I mean, they only showed one dish for food, right? And it looked really good, by the way. And I know that's only one thing. There's a million different dishes you could learn about and try out and all these things. So yeah, you have to tell me down below what you thought of this, if any of these were kind of on the mark, or maybe they were a little bit wrong or exaggerated. Of course, I'd love to hear that. And any of your favorite Brazilian dishes that I should learn about, maybe we can try making here at home or something. That would be fun. I would appreciate that. I always appreciate, video suggestions and just any suggestions in general for stuff to check out. I think it's really, really cool. Like I said, the first couple videos I've done did unbelievably well. I'm literally blown away. And people have been really cool. So I cannot thank you enough. I think we are able to build a really fun and engaging community here. So I really do appreciate that, and I look forward to it. Thank you guys for watching and being here. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day or night whenever you're watching this. My name is Ian. You're watching IWrocker 2.0, and until next time, y'all, catch you later.